Welcome back to the Jon Krawczynski Show, starring, strangely, Jon Krawczynski from The Athletic. I'm Jim Suhan from TalkNorth.com. We're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services Studios. We're presented to you by Lexus of Wayzata in Maplewood. We do want to remind you about the upcoming live show at Forgotten Star Brewery. I'm going to let Jon handle that.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. We are recording this here on Tuesday morning, so we're less than a week away. Sunday, August 16th at 5 p.m., Forgotten Star Brewery in Fridley. We will be there for the Jon Krawczynski live show. It's going to be our first show at Forgotten Star after several years at Head Flyer Brewing, and we're just super excited about it. When you walk in, it's an unbelievable space. We have a private room in the back with a ton of seating, and really a lot of acoustic help as well. And so I know that sometimes in the past, if you were there a little bit later and got kind of stuck at the back of the tap room, it was harder to hear the program going on because of just kind of the difficulties with acoustics there. But at Forgotten Star, all of that is taken care of. You're going to be able to hear it everywhere that you're at in that room that we have. Special guest Tim Connelly. There's going to be so much to get to. Just kind of looking back at all of the moves that they made this summer, at some of the holes and question marks that they still have. We'll just get into everything with Tim Connelly for a great conversation. We'll also have some Q&A with myself after that, and if so, come with questions to ask about the Wolves, about the Lynx, about whatever, and we'll have some giveaways as well. And so we really want to make this first one kind of special to kind of kick off this new relationship with Forgotten Star that we're so excited about. It is very easy to get to in Fridley, right off of 694 and East River Road, and tons of parking, wide open tap room, lots of space, really cool outdoor space as well. So hopefully you all can join us and have a great time at Forgotten Star Brewery Sunday, August 16th at 5 p.m.
That'll be awesome. Great job by Jon setting that up. Thanks to Timberwolves for always being so cooperative and providing great guests for these live shows. The live shows are a blast. If you've been to one, I highly recommend it. Great setting, great show, great time of year to get excited about the Timberwolves. So let's talk about why people might be excited about the Timberwolves. Let's start with just the symbolic. The Timberwolves are actually going to host a game at Target Center on Christmas Day.
Yeah, really cool announcement this morning that they announced two kind of marquee events in the schedule. On Tuesday there will be more. The full schedule will come out later this week as well. But Christmas Day games, which is the NBA's premier day or slate of games in the regular season. The Wolves have been on Christmas the last several years. They've usually been away from Target Center and having to travel on Christmas Eve and be away from home. But this year, finally, they do have a Christmas Day home game at 7 p.m. against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And so I was kind of going into this week, Jim, believing that maybe this was going to be the year that the Wolves finally got their first Christmas Day home game in franchise history. But you just never know and how the whole schedule is going to shake out. I thought, well, hey, maybe it's going to be Denver because of the rivalry that they have with the Nuggets and that big time clash that they had in the playoffs last season and all of the juice and the enmity that kind of exists between the two franchises. But to get Oklahoma City at home on Christmas Day, I think that's a great scenario as well. There's a nice rivalry there. I think the Timberwolves fans probably get up for OKC a little bit more than Denver even, and to have it at 7 p.m. so you get to be with your family during the day, kind of hang out, open some gifts in the morning, and have a meal and do all that, and then go to the arena in the evening. I think that's outstanding. So really kind of a historic moment for the franchise. It shows how far the Wolves have come in terms of being just an afterthought. Now, not that long ago to now being a prime attraction with Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball and everything they've got going on. And so this was a real stamp of approval by the NBA to say that, hey, Minnesota, you've earned it. You get to host a Christmas Day game.
Cool stuff. What is there another symbolic date other than Christmas Day that I mean, maybe I guess opening night? Is there another time that the Timberwolves should be aspiring to appear on the NBA schedule?
Yeah, I mean, like, Christmas Day is the biggest one. I mean, the MLK Day is a big day for the NBA, and the Wolves have played on Martin Luther King Day, a bunch over the years. And then, yeah, opening night. So I guess the one final piece of the puzzle would be to be a main attraction on opening night of the season. The league usually opens with its biggest acts, and I think it's LeBron James, and the Knicks. I can't remember who they're playing opening night, but the OKC plays the Spurs opening night. The Wolves open the next day, October 21st, in Miami against Giannis and the Heat. So they are on national TV for that one as well. So certainly a high profile position in the opening week schedule. But I mean, to get Christmas Day at home, like that's the biggest one. That's the one that lets you know that that you've arrived essentially as a bankable franchise, and as someone that as a team that can be relied upon to pack the house and to have a lot of energy in the building. I do think, Jim, that the decision to put the Wolves in Target Center on Christmas is a little bit of a hat tip as well to just how great the crowds have been, especially in the playoffs over the last several years. I mean, Mike Breen, a lot of people have talked about just how electric and how loud it is in there. And we've been in there when, even in the regular season, when they're playing the Thunder in the regular season, it's still tuned up. And so I think there's going to be, the league wants theater. They want a good show to put on. And I think that they can rely on Wolves fans turning out in a big way and getting after it for a Christmas Day night game against one of their biggest rivals. So it's just kind of a little bit of a nod to the atmosphere that has come to Target Center over the last several years in this new Anthony Edwards era.
Cool stuff. I feel obliged to ask this question. Anything new on the power forward front?
Yeah, I wish there was something, earth-shattering or at least substantive to offer right now, but it is still in a wait-and-see mode. And I will say to Wolves fans who really want that answer right now, in August, this is the down period for the league. This is where everyone goes away for vacations. This is where people get married. This is where, this is the 1 month of the calendar where teams and agents and players can take a rest. And so I do think that one of the simplest answers for why we don't have any kind of real concrete solutions yet there, whether it's Jonathan Kuminga, whether they dip their toe in the Ben Simmons waters, whether they go for someone else that is less established or less of a big name, but could come in and give them some depth at that position, is like, folks need to get away. They need a little vacation. They need some R&R. And there is not, I don't think, any super real urgency at the moment to get a deal done because camp is still 6 weeks away. And so there doesn't seem to be like a frothy market that is prompting teams to really compete against one another and try and get out in front and get a deal done. That said, could something come to fruition in the next 20 minutes or the next 2 weeks? Yes. So, but I don't get the sense that there's been any real sort of kind of progress, I would say, that changes the fact that they have interest in Jonathan Kuminga. They were looking at scenarios, but I think a lot of it relies on Jonathan Kuminga and what he wants. And I think they will probably try to figure that out and get some resolution on that front before they shift gears and go somewhere else. And that may take a little bit longer to develop here.
All right, let's get to some of the people who make all this possible. Then I have a couple esoteric questions for Jon. We want to talk about what we're hearing about that Paris trip. I have a question about Dante DiVincenzo, about Chris Finch. We have some other things we can get to around the NBA. We'll talk about the Lynx. We have a Lynx segment sponsored by Wings Credit Union. For right now, we want to remind you we're coming to you from the Aquarius Home Services studio.
Hey, it's Lee for Aquarius Home Services. If you're heading to the state fair, between eating the cheese curds and the delicious cookies, stop by the Connecticut Water Treatment booth in the Home Improvement Building. The team will show you how you can enjoy worry-free Connecticut water in your home every day. No worries if you can't make it to the fair. As your independent authorized dealer, Aquarius will bring the state fair treatment to you. Schedule your free in-home water test at aquariushomeservices.com.
And here's Jon for Lexus of Wayzata and Maplewood.
If you're in the market for a new luxury vehicle, look no further than our good friend Charlie Swanson at Lexus. Whether you're on the west or the east side of the Twin Cities, they've got you covered with two great locations, Lexus of Wayzata and Lexus of Maplewood. Check out the all-new Lexus TX, a spacious SUV with 3 rows of seating and plenty of room for all your gear. Head over to lexusofwayzata.com or lexusofmaplewood.com for details and to find your next ride today.
I am getting my hair cut at Great Clips. It might seem silly, but I actually do need haircuts. The less hair you have, the more you have to keep it neat. I know Jon's going to Great Clips as well.
I do go to Great Clips, and I think that right now a lot of your kids are probably getting ready to go to Great Clips as school opens. And if you got kids, you know back to school season is a lot. Supply lists, shoe shopping, juggling all the schedules. It's not exactly a magical time of year. That Great Clips app, though, that really does work like magic. With just a few taps, you can find a salon nearby, see the wait time, and check in when it works for you. You can even get a message when it's your turn, so you know when to pack up the kids and head over. Oh, and the savings, that's where the real magic happens. So when it's time for back to school haircuts, download the Great Clips app. It may not take care of all of your back to school to-dos, but it'll definitely make some of that stress disappear. Great Clips, it's going to be great.
Thanks to Wings Credit Union, which sponsors our Lynx segment.
Lynx fans, you're going to want to hear this. Wings Credit Union, the official credit union partner of the Minnesota Lynx and Timberwolves, now has a Lynx branded debit card that comes with some great fan perks. Open any Wings checking account, choose the Lynx debit card, and every time you use it, you'll have a chance to win tickets to a Lynx home game or autographed merchandise. You can also score discounts on concessions at Target Center and get access to exclusive ticket offers throughout the season. So if you're looking for an easy way to show your Lynx pride every day, this is it. Upgrade your banking game, support Minnesota Hoops, and head to wingscu.com/Lynx to open your account today. Wings Credit Union is insured by NCUA. Membership is required. Account requires an associated Wings Lynx debit card.
Well, let's get to our Lynx segment sponsored by Wings Credit Union. I'm running out of things to say about Olivia Miles. There was a point early in the season where she was doing everything but making three-pointers. I was like, okay, that's going to be a big part of her career. She's going to have to develop a better shot arc, more range. And I swear to God, the next game she made like 6 of 8 threes, and she's been lighting it up from 3 since. We had Leah B. Olson on the Don Mitchell show this week, and Leah is covering not only the Lynx, but she's also working nationally as a broadcaster covering the WNBA. I said, of all the great point guards in the league, who would you take first? Chelsea Gray, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Sabrina Ionescu. There are a bunch. And she said, I'd take Olivia Miles.
Yeah, I don't see how. I mean, you can obviously have an argument about it, and we can debate it, but she absolutely belongs in that conversation, and anyone who would take her first overall in that selection process has ample reason to do it. And it's not just the shot making and the passing, it's the overall energy that she brings to the equation. And I don't know if you saw, just yesterday, an ESPN writer, Sam Hurd, put a thing on social media and synced her highlight reel with Superfly from Curtis Mayfield. And it's amazing to watch it. It's so fun. It's the perfect soundtrack to her style of play, to her aesthetic. It's a throwback kind of a game, and it is the kind of game that just you cannot take your eyes off of. She's super young. She's just getting started in this thing. And I was talking with Andrew Dukowitz, who covers the Lynx and the Wolves, really well. And, I was on his show last week, and it was, this is, when you think about what Olivia Miles is right now, this is the worst she's ever going to be in the WNBA, at least for the next 7, 8, 10 years. And to see the way that she is orchestrating and the way that she is just conducting everything with the Lynx, it's incredible what she's doing. And now Kayla McBride is breaking 3-point records, and Nafisa Collier is back, and Natasha Howard is revitalized, and all of these. I mean, it's all starts with Olivia Miles stirring that drink, and it's been something that is just wholly unexpected when the season began, and is now to a point where you just ask, what is the ceiling? And I just don't see one for her.
No, it's remarkable. Also, good day to talk about Kayla McBride. She's always been one of those players. She's not a superstar, and she's not a spectacular athlete. She's almost the perfect non-superstar to play for Cheryl Reeve. She takes coaching extremely well. You can coach her hard. She doesn't ever run away from it. She appreciates Cheryl pushing her. 3-point shooting is always valuable, and she's a great 3-point shooter. She can get her shot off against tight defense because of her quick release. She plays super hard on defense. She's a very good defender. She's unselfish. She's understated. She's great in the community. She really is an ideal person to have in your town.
100%. And like you hit on it the most, Jim. Like, her release is lightning quick. And there's times I went and I took my daughter and we sat courtside thanks to Charlie Swanson last week. And just like, there are times when you watch it and she gets it and gets rid of it so quickly, you're almost like, wait a minute, is that a good shot? Right. It turns out it's a great shot for her. Like, she is locked in always in such a great rhythm. And then you see her defending Paige Beckers. You see her, making the next pass in the offense to keep it flowing and not just look for her own shot. She is such connective tissue. And there's also, when you listen to her talk, there's like this real appreciation for the moment that she's in. Like, she's a veteran, she's been around the block, and she understands how rare these types of opportunities are. And so she plays with that joy and that gratitude that is infectious. And so she's one of the team spokeswomen. She's just like always out front saying the right things, messaging and doing the right things. And she should have been an all-star this year. She's that good, but every team needs that kind of a player that, even if they are not getting all of the shine, that it's just every single night they are doing all of the little things and even a lot of the big things that a team needs to win. And Kayla McBride has been front and center in this incredible season that the Lynx are having.
And let it not go unsaid. I'm about to not let it go unsaid by saying it. 43 points on 21 shots is ridiculous.
And remember, for everyone, like, I know this is a Timberwolves podcast and most people will know this, but the Lynx play 40-minute games.
Yep.
Like, it's not a 48-minute game. And so when you also put it in that context, that just shows you what kind of an absolute flamethrower that she has. It's just like, it's breathtaking when she has it going that way. And like, there are so many times when we talk about Olivia Miles and the numbers that she's putting up and the effect and impact that she's having. So it goes both ways, because what she is doing to create shots for Kayla McBride is incredible. And Kayla is getting looks that she otherwise would not get thanks to Olivia Miles. But the flip side of that is that that Olivia Miles is having the statistical impact that she does, in part because almost every time that she is finding Kayla McBride for these looks, Kayla's cashing in. And so there's a real kind of simpatico that is working there. And yes, Olivia is making Kayla's life easier, but Kayla is also validating all of the skill and the trust that Olivia has in her by just making sure that every time that she makes an incredible pass right into Kayla McBride's shooting pocket, McBride is knocking it down. And that's what makes the Lynx so dangerous, is that Olivia has all of these weapons. She's Joe Montana in the 1980s 49ers. Like, you can throw to Jerry Rice over here, Nafisa Collier. You can throw to John Taylor over there, Kayla McBride. You can throw to Brent Jones as Courtney Williams. Like, however you want to, like, she has so many weapons that are such high quality that they are maximizing Olivia's talent because they have the ability to create opportunities or cash in on those opportunities at an incredibly high level.
I was on with Janice Shortle from Care 11 recently, and she asked me, like, which organization did I think was in the best shape in the Twin Cities? And I said, well, basically, these days, if you go to Target Center, you're going to be in pretty good shape. I mean, the Wolves are really well run, and the games are a blast. The crowds are a blast. The games are important. And anybody who hasn't sat close to an NBA court, I just don't know how to describe how good these athletes are and how physical the game is when you're up close to it. And then you take the Lynx, and the Lynx are the best team in the league. Olivia Miles is the story of the WNBA season. Nafisa Collier is a top 3 or 4 player in the world. Kayla McBride's a star. Courtney Williams is a blast. It's like, and the way they play. It's the unselfishness, the ball movement, the intensity. I know Cheryl's absolutely right. They haven't been playing great defense lately. I think they'll kick it up when they need to. But the offensive play, starting with Olivia Miles all the way through, is just stunning to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, we could ask that question, and the same answer for the last 12 years would have been the Lynx, probably, just with the way that they're run, with the way that they are coached, with the way that they just have the talent to assemble. But, picking up off of your point of, it is not just star power that they are leaning on. It is systems installed by Coach Reeve and her staff, with Lindsay Whalen, Rebecca Brunson, with Tebow, with everyone that they have, that it's just a really pleasing style to watch. You have back cuts, you have pass, shoot. You have just synergy that this group has been able to really sustain over the last several years, even with all of the changes to the roster. And that's a tribute to the coaching that they have and to the leadership that they have. And so, but yeah, you go to Target Center and you see both of these teams. They are highly competitive. They are incredibly talented. They're well coached. They're well run by their front offices. And the Lynx just happen to be a step ahead of the Wolves in that they are absolutely championship caliber, maybe even favorites right now. The Wolves still have a little bit to prove to get to that final step, but the Lynx are there. They've been there for the last several years, and with Miles and Collier and everything they have going for them, they should be there for the foreseeable future as well.
Yes. All right, let's get to what happened in Paris, but first, let's hear more about Forgotten Star Brewery.
Just minutes north of the North Loop, there's a tap room worth the drive. Forgotten Star Brewing lives inside a historic World War II manufacturing plant that once built artillery for the U.S. Navy, and today it pours some of the best beer in the Twin Cities. We're talking award-winning beers, sizzling smash burgers hot off the griddle, and one of the most beautiful patios you'll find anywhere in the metro. History under your feet, a cold pint in your hand, and room to soak up the sun. Forgotten Star Brewing, come find it. And just to emphasize on that, Jim, I know some people might think, oh, Fridley, where is that? It's so easy to get to from downtown. Yep. It's literally 2 minutes off of 694 in East River Road. And so I'm telling you, if you just make the trip on Sunday, come and see us, and you'll be shocked at how easy it is to get there and how close it is to everything. And then once you're there, how easy it is to park, to move around, to spread your wings a little bit, and to enjoy the show and enjoy the beer and the food that they have there. So I promise you, You will not regret it when you come to Forgotten Star to see our show, or just stop in on another night, grab a beer, and watch a Wolves game, watch a Lynx game on TV when they have them on there.
Yeah, tons of free parking, and actually the route you take from downtown there's actually not even traffic. It's really so I had that. All right, Forgotten Star is a great new partner, our greatest old partner, TSR Injury Law. They helped us get this thing off the ground. We will always be appreciative of that. But what you need to know is if you're injured, you should call 612-TSR-TIME, 612-TSR-TIME. You will deal with a lawyer. They are very good at winning cases. They will not charge you unless they win your case. And they win a lot of cases. That's why they have become such a big story in the Twin Cities. 612-TSR-TIME. Now here's John for True Vision Institute.
True Vision Institute in Bloomington. Go to True Vision. I've been a customer there and a client there for 2 years now. Had LASIK surgery 2 years ago. It's been great for me ever since. They take wonderful care of you from start to finish. Dr. Chu is incredible in guiding you through the procedure itself, which literally only takes minutes, and then a little bit of recovery time, and you are back seeing clearly, without the hassles of contacts and glasses. So go to truevision.com, set up your consultation, then head down to True Vision in Bloomington and just get going with your vision correction from the great people at True Vision.
SGLambchops.com is sponsoring the Twitter question at the end of the show. What's going on with SGLambchops.com?
Yeah, go to SGLambchops.com. Use the promo code JONK20 for 20% off any of the great casual wear that they have there. You're talking t-shirts, hats, hoodies, pants, sweaters, sweatshirts, everything they got that you need to feel good going out on the town or lounging around at home. They have it at sglambchops.com. If you come to our show at Forgotten Star on Sunday, they will be there as well with some exclusive Forgotten Star collab swag to go with. So come on out, see some of the stuff that Jordan and Craig have all set up for us as well. But it's a great company. They're invested in the local community. SGLambchops.com, and use the promo code JONK20 for 20% off everything you get at Lamb Chops.
So what did you hear about the trip to Paris?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Everyone, thanks for listening to the podcast, because if you listened to the Jon Krawczynski show a couple weeks ago, you heard before anyone else that they were going to Paris. And then we saw some of the social media stuff that has been posted from several of the players over the weekend about their trip that did happen. So Ant and LaMelo were the ones that kind of got everyone organized with flights to get out to Paris. And then according to the photos that we saw, there was every player on the roster was out there except for Dante DiVincenzo, who is rehabbing an injury. And I didn't see Bones Highland either, and I'm not sure why he wasn't there. He probably had some sort of personal commitment, because Bones is all in on this team, and I'm sure he would have made it if he could. But they went there, and from what I'm told, they had some workouts. LaMelo and Rudy got on the floor together for the first time, which is really important as they start to work on their chemistry together. And, I think that this was a really sort of important week for Rudy Gobert, because he really is so proud of where he is from, and he wanted the guys to have as good of a time as possible in Paris. And so I think he had a lot of things set up for them to do. I saw some questions on social media about, was this just a sightseeing trip, or did they work out together? And no, they absolutely did put in workouts together. Just kind of started to build that chemistry that they're going to need going into the training camp at the end of September. And so I think that it was a really good sign, Jim, because we heard Anthony Edwards at the start of last season say that one of the things he thought this team needed to do more of was get together as a group in the summertime. And that is kind of where connections are forged. That's where players really bond. That's where they all show a commitment to each other. If you're going to give up a little bit of your summer to go travel with your guys and meet them somewhere and then put in work, I think that's a really good opening statement for what is to come. It certainly doesn't guarantee success in the regular season or the playoffs, but I think that when you look at how this team operated last season. We've talked a lot about, the moodiness and things of that nature. I think they had good chemistry. I think they all liked each other, but there was just a little something missing. And it felt like they were leaning a lot on cohesion, on continuity, on familiarity last season to really breed a new hunger and a new kind of connectedness. And really, I think that ultimately what it bred was a complacency. And I think that came back to bite them in the regular season a little bit. And so there are new faces this year. They are going to play a different style with LaMelo at the trigger. And so I think that there's a sense across that roster that, hey, we've got to do a little bit more together to just start to build the the first bricks of the foundation so we have a good jumping off point in September and into October in training camp. And it says a lot about Anthony Edwards that he really led the charge there. It says a lot about Rudy Gobert that he kind of opened his arms to the group and brought him in. And it says a lot about Jaden McDaniels and I would assume and everyone else that really got on board with this and took time out of their summers to go and be there and make this happen. And so for Wolves fans who are really encouraged by that, I think that's totally justifiable to say that this is a step they did not take last season. And if you're looking at a team trying to do a little soul searching and figure out why it took a step back last season, in addition to the injuries that they suffered, it was things like this. And so they're trying to check those boxes and really spend a lot of time together. And that's pretty encouraging.
I think it's also really good for LaMelo Ball and his reputation.
Mm-hmm.
It's the right thing to do in terms of everything you just talked about, basketball cohesion. It's also a great symbol. It's a great sign to send. Hey, I'm not just a goofball who's going to come out and jack up 35-foot shots. I'm actually investing in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was like something last week where one of the movers came into his apartment or his house in Charlotte and was getting his stuff and packing it up and moving it to Minnesota and took kind of like a video of like the LaMelo abode. And it is wild. Like the paintings on the doors, like the kind of anime and cartoons and things like that. And, all like it's basically the embodiment from a living space of the cars that he drives and the clothes that he wears. It's very flashy. It's very out there. And I think it kind of contributes to this notion that he is not a serious player. And when really that's just his personality. And I think that the more people that you talk to who spend a lot of time around him in Charlotte, and even, coaches who spoke to Chris Finch about it and stuff, they've all said that, no, LaMelo is a worker. Like he is in the gym all the time. He's already been in the gym a ton at the practice facility in Minneapolis. Like he is a regular presence in that facility. And so, he has this sort of aura and this aesthetic of loud, flashy, kind of wild, but behind the scenes, he does want to work and he does want to get together with his teammates and just be in the gym together. And so, now he has this opportunity to really unveil that, I think, to a larger audience. He's been in Charlotte all of his career where they have not had hardly any success outside of a little bit last season. And now he's coming to this team with Anthony Edwards, with Jaden McDaniels, with Rudy Gobert that's been deep in the playoffs, a team that's playing on Christmas Day at home, a team that's playing a primetime game to open the season in Miami. He's going to have a lot more opportunities where the spotlight is on him. And so there will be different expectations and it will be an opportunity for him to sort of reintroduce who he is as a player, as a person to a larger audience. And I think he's making a good first impression.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, let us get to our Twitter question sponsored by sglambchops.com.
Yeah, and so a reminder while I'm kind of digging through to find the right question here again, come to Forgotten Star Brewery August 16th And on Sunday, 5 p.m., we will have Tim Connelly there. We will answer a lot of questions that we don't get to today with the, at the Forgotten Star Brewery. And again, thanks to Lamb Chops, 20% off at sglambchops.com with the promo code JONK20. And so I'm just looking through here, and here Wizard Orbs asks, where are the Wolves at in terms of a Tim Connelly extension? This is something that we'll get into a little bit more with Tim Connelly on Sunday. As of right now, there's nothing to report yet about an extension. I think that there have been some talks, but also I think that there are still some things to work through on that front. And I don't necessarily sense that there's a lot of urgency on anyone's part to get something done. He is under contract for next year. And so far, like, Tim and his family have really enjoyed Minnesota. They've built a very good team here. The LaMelo Ball trade was very much a deal in Tim Connelly's image and vision of like the kind of player that he wants. And so he's making all of these moves to assemble a team that he really believes can compete at the highest level. And I just think that this is all going to take time to work out, and he's going to, they'll figure some things out and they'll work through it. But I will let him kind of speak more to that on Sunday, and see what kind of details he has. But this is not necessarily a situation like a player where, going into the final year of his contract, you really want to get something done ahead of time. They can sign him to a deal at any point between now and the end of next season and keep it going and just work through everything that they have. And so we'll watch it. We'll continue to monitor it. I am not at DEFCON 1 like I think a lot of Wolves fans are, in terms of their, worry about what his future is and kind of the moves that he's making at this moment. I just think that he's a highly coveted front office executive that is going to work through things at his own pace and be able to do it and speak to it himself when we get him on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to that part of the conversation and so much more at Forgotten Star on Sunday at 5 p.m.
Have a great show. Thanks to Tim Connelly for joining you. Thanks to everyone who listens. Thanks to everyone who watches also. You can catch this show on YouTube if you prefer seeing people like us on video. I don't know why you'd like that, but we appreciate it. Go for it. But hey, thanks to everybody for the support. We appreciate it. Go out to Forgotten Star and have a great time.